Pet's Life with Gym Dog, Ireland's first pet resort by Des the Vet. Managed by vets, loved by pets. Daycare, vet care, premium pet food and grooming. Visit at petslife.ie.
Yeah, Des, and a very good morning to you. You know, I was Googling last night because there was an end of season sale with flights, you know, and everybody was, I just saw it on social media, you know, you should check out. And you know the way you're afraid, or you're saying, are these legitimate deals? Right, yeah. You know, is it a case that when you're booking these flights, there's a sale on Aer Lingus, wherever the case may be, and I'm debating whether to actually book the flights or not, because you don't know whether the prices are... As soon as I booked the flights and I woke up this morning, I said, I must check the prices now, going to where I want to go. Up 25% overnight. Yeah. So it was legit.
I think the thing to do is, if you do see them online on a search engine or something like that, then go to the app, the Aer Lingus app or the Ryanair app, and book it directly from the app. Yeah. Don't book it off the website that shows up on the search engine, in case that's a deep fake. Yeah. But you do have to act straight away on these offers, And
I have to say, look, I did it, trust my gut, went for it and whatever, and I said, right, I'll do it. And I'm just kind of happy now. When you see the prices going back up, you're kind of saying to yourself, yeah, okay, fair enough. Happy with that one as well. Anyway, matters at hand. How are you today?
Yeah, good, John. Good, great to be here as usual.
Yeah, did you enjoy the rugby at the weekend?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Leinster looking very good now. The new style of play, I found it a little bit concerning watching them play this different style in the early part of last year, because they didn't look like Leinster. You get used to watching Leinster play this particular open style of, you know, where people will understand. You watch a Leinster team play and they have this lovely open style, and they changed. Started playing this more different, more structured style of play, and more start, more physical. Yeah, and they're making more mistakes, or they were making more mistakes.
They're less now.
Yeah, all of a sudden now this new style of play has really clicked, and they're looking like a class team.
Yeah, they are looking like a class team.
Now, are they good enough to beat Toulouse or whatever? We'll have to wait and see.
I mean, listening to all the pundits over the last weekend, Toulouse and Leinster are the team to be, and the way the knockout phase has worked out really well for Leinster. Now, all they have to do is play what's in front of them. But on the other side, Toulouse could end up knocking out La Rochelle or Bordeaux, because that's the way the draw has worked out.
Leinster might get an easy run.
Two of the big three will be gone by the semi-finals on the other side. Yeah.
So anyway, happy days.
Roll on, and the Six Nations coming up as well. Anyway, I know you're a rugby hound. We want to talk about pets today. That is to do with pet insurance. Yeah. Before that, recap. We're into the end of January. Well, another week left of it as well. I'm just going to check in with you again. Any dogs coming back? Because I heard KWSBCA were talking to Hannah a little bit earlier on the radio.
Yeah, the animal charity said
she went off and visited them, did a roving microphone job over there. It was brilliant. Very good interview.
Very good. I must check it out. Yeah, look, the dog charity said that they're in trouble again with numbers, which is a pity. Yeah. I would appeal to people, anyone looking to adopt a dog or interested in getting a dog, go and see the animal charities. Consider taking in a more unusual breed to give it a home, like a greyhound. Yeah.
And the thing about it is, there's more people who have probably used the old cliche, a dog is not for Christmas, it's for life.
A dog is for life.
Yeah. The problem is...
Adopt, don't shop. That's another cliche, which is very true.
Adopt, don't shop.
Yes.
Very good. Yeah, excellent. Very good. Very impressed with that. So hopefully things will calm down a little bit over the next month, and please support your shelters as well for the animals. It's most important too. Regarding insurance, this is something that we kind of visit. Is it a case people kind of get a Fagari and decide, look, let's go off and do insurance for 1 year, and they forget to renew it?
Yeah, so there's two problems with the pet insurance sector. I love to see pets being insured, because then when they come into us with a little problem, we can do more for them. Yeah. There are more treatment options available to us with insured pets than not. We can go down the gold standard route, do all the extra tests that might throw up the more unusual diseases. We can refer you for extra tests to specialists if your dog has something wrong, if your dog is insured. If it's not, we're more limited in terms of what we can do. And we have to kind of practice context-based care, which might be a case of having to pick and choose what diagnostic tests we do. Yeah. So that's not ideal. So I would say to people nowadays, it's really important to get pet insurance, because veterinary fees have gone up. And they're going to continue to go up. So labour costs are an issue, big issue in the veterinary sector. Health and safety issues, vets have to work shorter shifts. Vets have to work less on call. vets have to outsource the on-call. We don't work 24/7 like we used to back in the old days, the early part of my career. I would have regularly worked 60 to 70 hour a week and my nights on call and my weekends and answer the phone 7 days a week. And I did that because I was self-employed, and lots of vets did that back in the old days. But now veterinary costs are higher because we have to put structures in place, because employed staff, the newer generation, they won't work those hours.
Yeah.
And on-call costs are expensive. So, therefore, folks, you should insure. Vet fees are only going to continue to go up because of all of these modern factors that are, in a way, kind of outside of our control. So you should insure. But to answer your question, I've been waffling, John.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer your question.
No, you weren't really.
People forget to renew the insurance. They get it for a year and then they forget to renew it.
Yeah.
Well, there's three types of pet insurance. You have this accident cover, which is short term, and it only covers, say, if your dog is hit by a car.
Yeah.
Then you get limited cover where you might take it out for a year for a pup, right? And then you get lifetime cover. You should tick the lifetime cover box so that it renews automatically monthly.
Yeah.
And you won't forget to renew it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Lifetime cover is the third category. Do get it, because you see, if it lapses, sod's law, isn't it? 9 times out of 100, after it lapses, you'll realise you need it.
Yeah.
So,
and it is important that if you start doing it, it's a good thing, especially.
So people shouldn't let it lapse. And the other thing about it is, it's kind of not fashionable yet, really, in Ireland. I don't see enough insured pets. It's a UK phenomenon.
It's a US phenomenon.
US.
It's massive in the US.
Probably massive because their vet fees have been so high for so long.
Well,
people are afraid of big vet bills over there,
Yeah.
rightly, because it can cost thousands to have simple things
Yeah.
sorted out in the US. But here, it needs to come in here because those costs are, as I say, they're only going to rise.
Why do you think people are not going with pet insurance? Is it just mentality? Is it just a case, it's, look, we'll get them fixed and hopefully it'll be okay, not too expensive?
Yeah, Irish people are happy-go-lucky and they prefer to take their chances and see what happens. And we're natural optimists and we don't expect to be landed with a big bill. We don't expect things to go wrong.
Okay.
So it's lack of planning and lack of being there. We're risk takers, really, a little bit, aren't we, by nature?
If you have an animal, say, that isn't doing too well and maybe having health issues, will they automatically take on the insurance, the pet companies?
Now, if your animal already has a chronic disease, it might be too late.
Right, okay.
So you should be doing it in the first year of life, first 18 months,
Okay.
ideally,
Okay.
before any issues crop up. You can insure an older dog, but when they see the previous veterinary history, which has to be emailed to them before they'll take you on and give you a policy, they might exclude different little things on the basis of your dog's previous veterinary history.
Is there any... a negative question. Is there any hidden stuff within... Or is it the same with all insurance companies, that there could be cons with it, pros and cons?
So the hidden thing is there's an excess there. You want to look very carefully, see what the excess is. It'll be €100 or thereabouts, or 120. So you can't claim for every little visit to the vet. You're better off to let your fees rack up a little bit.
Okay.
And just claim a couple of times a year. And then you might only lose the excess once.
Okay, so let's put it into a different context completely, right? I want to go a different direction on it. So from your perspective and from an owner's perspective, what are they being covered? I mean, so what can they... So as an owner, and they come to you with a problem with their dog, what does the insurance actually cover to make it worthwhile? So
they cover routine vet fees apart from vaccinations and neutering.
Okay.
Now, those vet fees would be any illness, a temperature, a sore paw, a cough, any discernible clinical sign of an illness, which requires you to go to the vet because you're worried that your pet is sick.
Okay.
That'll be covered. Anything that can be categorised as injury or sickness is covered.
Okay, so if you're in a situation where you have an animal, say, that is become sick and you're constantly dipping into the pet insurance, when it comes to renewal the following year, will your insurances rise?
No.
No?
No, no, to be fair, they don't increase. They don't penalise you to that extent. They don't increase your policy premium until your pet gets to 8 years of age. And then you'll have an age-based premium increase.
Yeah.
And you'll also have a scenario, some of them it's 8, some of them I think could be 9. After 8 years of age, you have to pay 40% of it yourself.
Okay. And when it comes to that, is it just paid by direct debit, just paying your credit card? What's the costing generally? What would you think it's going to be?
Costs are interesting. Very. So there's 6 of them in Ireland. Petinsurance.ie, On Post, Allianz, Agria and Blue Insurance. 6 companies we have in Ireland doing pet insurance, and there's 3 cover levels generally. You have this accident only, you have this temporary cover, and then you have this lifetime cover.
Yeah.
Right? Now, there are issues with all of them. If you look up these online and look at customer feedback with regards to all these policies, every single company, they say they're slow to pay.
Yeah.
So, but that could be the same for a car insurance company or something too, could it?
So hold on a second. So what happens if you've bought pet insurance and you go in and there's a problem with your pet? Do you have to pay and then you claim back, or is the insurance company deal directly with the actual vets? You
pay and then you claim back.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
But the vets will always help you claim back.
Okay.
So our admin team are good at filling in these claim forms. I'm good at emailing them backwards and forwards.
So it's still worth you as a pet owner to let the vet know, by the way, I have pet insurance.
Yeah.
Can you help me with what to do next?
Yeah, because our admin team will help you fill in the claim form and send off the claim form. And it's important that we know from the word go that you're insured. Because we'll compile all the notes in such a way that it's more helpful for you in making a claim.
Okay.
And every time you make a claim, they'll ask for all the notes, all the history.
Right, Jim was on, wants to know, does pet insurance cover dental care?
Some of it. Not routine dentistry.
Okay.
It'll cover...
something that's maybe anaesthetic and stuff like that.
Yeah, it'll cover disease or injury.
So if you have to remove a tooth or something, it'll be covered because that involves an anaesthetic.
Yeah, it'll cover extractions and disease or injury and oral tumours, oral lesions, oral injuries.
Yeah.
Now, routine cosmetic scale and polish is not covered.
Yeah. Okay. Brian was on. Brian, hello. Brian Keogh is over in Kilcock, and he says to me, I have a golden retriever in terrific health. He's 7 years of age. I was always thinking about getting pet insurance, but now that he's 7, I'm thinking probably it's not worth it. Is it worth it?
It's worth it to do it before he's 8. After 8, they probably won't take him at all.
Okay, so, and would it work the same way as humans? Like, because he's 7, there'll be a different premium?
Yeah, it'll be a bit higher. Now, cost you... I put Bonnie into the Allianz checklist to see what they'd cover. It was $27 a month they wanted for a 2-year-old retriever female.
Okay.
Which wouldn't be, it's cheap, it's affordable.
Yeah.
It's realistic. Now, those fees go up to 35, 37, 39 for high-risk breeds like French Bulldogs and Dachshunds. You know the sausage dogs?
Yeah.
They're expensive to insure.
Yeah.
Because they get a lot of problems.
Yeah. But what about the likes of, in the way we've often had discussions about mixed breeds or the pugs and stuff and these type of animals that are crossing over, are they expensive to insure?
Yeah, some of them won't take the brachycephalic dogs, pugs and Frenchies.
Okay.
Or might quote you very high for it.
Yeah.
And the respiratory surgery and the breathing operations that these dogs need to help them with their narrow nostrils and their narrow throats and their soft palate problems and all the rest of it, those surgeries are not covered.
Okay, what else you got
for
there?
Brachycephalics. Interesting enough, the 3 policy covers a Dachshund, €16 for accident only. A limited cover, €25 for a Dachshund, €31 a month lifetime cover for a Dachshund.
Okay.
A cat.
Okay.
Cats are insured. Cheap enough to insure. You can get lifetime cover for a pedigree cat such as a British Shorthair.
Yeah.
For €14 a month.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Which would mean that the average garden domestic Shorthair, common Irish cat, probably would be even a little bit less than that to insure.
Okay.
2-year-old British Shorthair there, $13.50 a month with Allianz.
Okay.
Retrievers are the most expensive with some of the companies.
Is that just because they're a bigger dog, is it?
They're a big dog. Seemingly they do have more claims as they get older.
Okay.
But to finish answering that man's question about his 7-year-old, do insure your dog now.
Yeah.
Before...
it goes too late because over the age.
It gets to, definitely over 8 they probably won't take it.
Yeah.
You probably will find that Blue or Pet Insurer Allianz, one of them will take it will take your dog at 7 if the veterinary history is good.
Okay.
Now the vet fees though, there'll be certain things whereby you'll have to pay 40% yourself, even though you're insured.
Okay, brilliant. Excellent. Now, I want to just ask some general questions, and if there's some pet questions come in regarding insurance, we'll go back to it in a second. Right, can you ask Des, what is the best over-the-counter calmer for a Yorkie, or can you help in any other way? He's extremely anxious and nervous to be groomed. He's been fully sedated sometimes and every time, but it's been extremely expensive, over 200 quid a go. I've been trying to do it myself, but it's not working okay.
Yeah, put him on Nutricam.
Nutricam.
Yes, and that's the over-the-counter calmer
yeah.
that you can get, right? The other thing which would be even more effective is, I think he probably sounds like one of these little anxious dogs who could do it being on the Nutricam all the time. Right. But for a few days before he's due to be groomed, call to your vets and get the tranquilizing cocktail of tablets. There are two different medications that work really well together, and they don't put the dog to sleep, but they take the stress away, they take the anxiety away, and they zone the dog out a little bit so that the groomers can manage to do the job. So ask for GABA and trazodone. Okay. GABA and trazodone for your dog as a combo, which you give orally for a few days before grooming and on the day of the grooming.
Okay, that's a great bit of advice. And by the way, folks, you can listen back on this episode on podcast, so anything you missed out, you can listen back and get the details from Des as well. Here we go. My 5-month-old kitten has a persistent ear infection. She's on a course of Genacin drops and Aurimic, A-U-R-I.
I know the product.
Aurimic drops twice daily after cleaning her infected ear. The problem is now we're on to day 7 and there's still pus coming from her ear. Any advice on what to do next?
Yeah, stick with it. I wonder when you were advised to go back to your vets, go back to the local vets.
Yeah,
with it. I would stick with
after day 7 though. That would be nearly a full course, would it?
Yeah, it would be nearly a full course, but I'd keep going for the 10 days.
Right. Okay.
In case there's a resistant organism there.
Okay.
Now, what you do is you stop after the 10 days, wait a week, then go back for your checkup. If the ear is still sore, request a swab.
Right.
A swab and culture.
Okay.
That would be to see what's in the ear.
Yeah, okay.
You want to know, is there an allergic reaction or some type of a resistant bacteria in the ear?
Okay. Don't panic too much about it.
No. So otitis, that's called. And you can have otitis interna and otitis externa, and they can be stubborn and slow to go away. And you may not see a response till the full 10-day treatment course is completed, and stick with it. And if it recurs, the name of the game then is get the swab and culture done.
Yeah. Okay, another good question coming in. Hi guys, we have a big dog that gets very stressed travelling. We want to get her spayed and wonder, is there a tablet we could get from the vet to give her to calm her for her journey over? Says Trish.
Yeah, would be a good idea actually, Trish, because very good idea, because if she arrives at the vet's on the day of her surgery and she's already highly stressed and her heart is pounding, it makes the general anaesthetic and the whole procedure, the whole process of neutering her a little bit more difficult. We don't like dogs being too distressed and wound up before we have to give them a general anaesthetic, because it can cause problems. If you have a hyperactive vagus nerve or you have a cardiac arrhythmia, it can make general anaesthetic trickier. So as I said to the lady who owns the little Yorkie that's nervous, what you need to do is get your girl on a few days of the trazodone GABA combination before she arrives into the vets for the spay.
Okay, right. Here's one, Christina, a regular listener to KFM. Good question, Christina, so bear with us on this. Regarding pet insurance, many years ago I had one dog, 13 years from birth, no claims. As the dog ages, it gets less cover when it reaches middle age. Yeah, we kind of said that. It had a lump on its anus and because the dog was not neutered, I was refused cover because the dog hadn't been neutered at the time of the lump. The vet decided it was best to neuter at the same time. Never had a claim in that dog's life. I was told it was covered, but when I collected the dog, I was told it wasn't covered.
Okay. So these conditions do change all the time. So at one stage, it was fashionable and it was very much the conventional wisdom that all animals had to be neutered, all animals had to be spayed, and insurance companies were entitled to penalise you for not neutering. Now, the international recommendations around neutering have changed. Lots of vets will not be as pushy about neutering anymore, and there's a perfectly good orthodoxy of veterinary opinion out there now that certain breeds and certain ages of dogs don't need to be neutered. So I think at the moment, with that evidence and that academic thinking being in flux and changing, I think that your insurance company would not get away with that stance nowadays.
Okay.
Because people have valid reasons sometimes for not neutering.
Okay.
So what happened there, that dog, I know exactly the history, based on the history that lady recounted there. And anal adenoma is a particular type of a growth that unneutered male dogs can get, an anal adenoma. So the insurance company were entitled to say, we're not paying for that because that tumour is directly caused by the fact that your dog wasn't neutered.
Okay.
But that's a very special type of condition. An anal adenoma is testosterone mediated. It's to do with not neutering.
Okay.
And it's not necessarily that common.
Okay, brilliant answer, and thanks for the detailed question, Christina, and a great afternoon to you as well. We're back on regarding our 5-month-old kitten. It says, hi guys again, we've done the swab and culture. It's rod bacteria, ROD?
It's rods.
Rods, is it?
Yeah, so she's on the Aramic. It's a type of bacteria.
Okay.
Bacteria are divided into rods and cockeyes.
Okay, right.
Based on the shape of the bacteria. So a rod is gram-positive, the cockeye are gram-negative, and then there's a different antibiotic for each one.
Okay.
So you're on the correct antibiotic.
Yeah.
So you must just stick with it because you've kind of, that's the only show in town. Is to keep treating that here.
Okay, well done. And he said that's a real do. He'll check back in. We'd love to know. Keep us up to date on that. We've had pet insurance for 3 dogs now, and it's absolutely brilliant. Thanks, John. Mark was on. He said we've been pet insurance for the last 10 years. It's just getting better and better and better. It's great value for money. Highly recommend it. Hi, could you ask Des? My granddaughter got her dog groomed before Christmas. Her fur didn't grow back, and her skin is now inflamed. What would you think we do next?
A strong course of omega-3 and omega-6 skin supplements orally.
Okay, and finally, what is the name of the tablet to give a dog daily for anxiety? My Bichon Freeze shakes at the slightest thing and it gets very stressed.
Yeah, Nutricam.
There we go. Go hunt for it as well. This will be up on podcast later on this afternoon, and we'll check back in. We might revisit this again next week because we're getting loads of questions.
Yeah, we'll revisit insurance.
Yeah,
there's lots of detail there we didn't get to touch on about the other things that are covered.
Okay,
like boarding
go
kennels.
away. We'll do part two.
We'll do part 2 on insurance.
We'll do part 2 next week, and please let us know in advance if you've got some questions or some stuff you want to inquire about. Please let us know.